First of all, I want to thank all of you in the media. You put in the long 8 months as well. Thank you for doing your job. Whether we agreed or disagreed, I respect what you have to do, and I thank you for your work, and hopefully you now have some time to spend with your families or take some time off as well. This session, we accomplished a lot in this special session. Before the special session began, we identified that TRS care was one of our top priorities, and we accomplished that. First-time facilities for charter schools is groundbreaking. It's going to change the culture of education to be able to help fund these public charter schools so that innovative educators, principals, or teachers can start schools and not have to go out hand to mouth to beg for money to open up a school, to rent out a space in a shopping center. Revolutionary. Very powerful. School Finance Commission by Senator Larry Taylor. There's a lot of talk about school finance reform. We haven't had a serious discussion about it for probably 40 years. This will be a serious discussion because we need reform in our education system on all levels. Pro-life issues. I don't know if you can find a legislative body in the history of the country that passed so many pro-life bills in 30 days. And of course we did it in 7. Senator Colcourt's Maternal Morbidity Task Force, very important bill. Our focus on ending voter fraud for mail-in ballots, very critical to protecting our ballot box. Ending forced annexation by cities of people who don't want to be automatically taken over by a city. These are good things that people support in Texas. A lot was accomplished. And again, remarkable that this group of people behind me, who I think are the finest legislators in the country, did it in 7 or 8 days. But we missed on some major opportunities. I think what I'm most unhappy with is the House quit tonight. They quit on the taxpayers of Texas. The most important issue, property taxes. #1 priority for the people, the governor, myself, the people behind me, and many members of the House. With 27 hours to go, they walked off the job. We appointed conferees. We wanted to look at this bill because, you know, in the House they didn't have a chance to amend the bill. The voice of many of the representatives was shut down. And so a great bill that was passed by Senator Betancourt that would have brought over $200 million of tax relief to Texans, to businessmen and homeowners and businesswomen, was turned into a pile of mush. The reason we did not vote on Senate Bill 1 as it came back in a take it or leave it because we're quitting and walking off our job mentality is because it did nothing. Now, there are politicians who like to come home and say, I passed this bill, just because they want to get credit for passing a bill. And if the House feels they're proud of going back home and saying we passed tax relief, I say to their voters, don't believe them. There was no tax relief or no tax reform or no tax savings in that bill. And we as a Senate and these Republicans were not going to stand and go back home and say, we passed property tax relief. We're going to be back. And the people are going to demand that we come back in 2019 and get this done. Those who voted against 4%, 44 Republicans, they're going to have to explain that to their voters back at home. We also shut down privacy. The Republicans didn't start that fight. We responded to what happened in Houston and Fort Worth and out of the Obama administration and Dripping Springs. The left started the fight. We passed that bill out twice unanimously from Republicans out of the Senate. And in the regular session, we got a bill, once again, that did nothing. Headlines, Dallas Morning News, bill does nothing. The House passed a lot of nothing bills out trying to claim political credit. But the people are smarter than that. And we didn't fall for it because, you know, we didn't pass that bill either. And then in the special session, they had the votes, just like they had the votes to go to 4 or 5%, 5% for sure. But when you have a speaker who is twisting arms for people not to vote or sign on a bill, when you have a speaker that says, I will kill privacy no matter what the people of Texas want, and the people of Texas don't want their children showering together in the 10th grade, and they don't want men, we're not talking about transgender, they don't want sexual predators who would use that as a loophole to follow any of the women in this room into a bathroom. The people of Texas don't want that. Bonus for teachers. I thought the speaker was for teachers and education. We passed Senate Bill 19 for retired teachers and a $1,000 bonus for most active teachers, and the House killed it. I don't want to hear about how they're so pro-education, because the most important part of education is the teacher. They killed it. School choice for disabled children. My God. You're going to kill that? You know, the speaker wanted to give a child who's a transgender child, or any child, the choice of any bathroom in the school. And the speaker wanted to give any child, a boy, to play on the girls' team and take away a scholarship. He was for choice. But he wasn't for giving the parents of a child in a wheelchair a choice to go to a better public school if the current school couldn't serve them. You're either for choice or you're not. They killed the bill to further defund Planned Parenthood. They killed the bill to end the state collection of union dues. In almost every case, it was the speaker's personal politics. Now, I'm not in here in a war with the speaker, but the people of Texas have to understand. These people came here and did what they asked them to do. To lower their property taxes, to protect the privacy of women and children, and keep the culture of our schools as the parents want them, without discriminating against anyone. To pass school choice, to pass bonus for teachers. We did all this work. Most of the bills weren't even referred. Do you realize last night, if Larry Taylor had not amended House Bill 21 with $212 million for retired teachers, that wouldn't have passed? Do you realize that the Education Commission, the most important, maybe the most important bill of this session, one of the most important, would not have passed? Because the House killed them all. And responsibility starts at the top. I'm responsible. I'm responsible at the Senate. The governor called 20 issues on the special session call, and the speaker said they were horse manure, and he treated it like horse manure. The Texas Senate passed 18 of the governor's bills in the first 7 to 8 days. We did our job. Look, too often people go home at the end of a congressional session or a state session in any capital. And sometimes it's hard to get through the maze of why this didn't pass or that did pass or what was that bill about. Not here. The Texas Senate did their job. The governor did his job. So we didn't pass Senate Bill 1 tonight because the bill that we passed would have given zero tax relief or any serious reform to the people of Texas. Heck, the bill, they stopped an amendment from including all of Texas on the bill. We were not going to come home to our constituents and say, we passed property tax relief when it didn't happen. We weren't going to go into city after city and county after county, and they said, well, I'm not included in the bill. We made allowances in our bill to be sure the smaller cities or smaller counties that didn't have a lot of revenue didn't have to go through a costly election, but we were including people, or at least giving everyone a chance to opt in. So I'm proud of the work of the Senate. I'm proud of what we've done. The regular session, the most conservative session that Texas has ever had, which tops 2015. And the special session, when you look at the list of what was accomplished, all the pro-life legislation and the things that we did. And I thank Governor Abbott for calling us back. I thank Governor Abbott for putting the bills on the call that were the priorities of the people. And I thank these people who on some occasions had to pass a bill 2, 3, 4 times. The Texas Senate didn't quit early. The Texas Senate didn't go home without the job getting done. Thank goodness Travis didn't have the speaker at the Alamo. He might have been the first one over the wall. Any questions?
Will you be asking the governor to call another special session?
That's the governor's decision, and that will be for him to answer. One thing for sure, when some members over there go home, the members who didn't vote for 4%, or the members who killed all these bills, the members who signed up for privacy the first time but didn't sign up for it the second time, that kind of gamesmanship, let them go home and face the voters for the next 90 days.
Governor, what's your reaction? Two questions about the privacy bill.
Yes, sir.
Will it be back on the next session? And what's your reaction to the massive political weakness that's
You know, I respect business having their opinion and their point of view. They were wrong. All the data they had was wrong. We know that from the real data from Houston. It didn't have any economic impact. We know that from North Carolina, it had minimal impact. We know that North Carolina passed the same bill that we have. And the NCAA and everybody else is fine. We know North Carolina is doing fine. They were misled by some people, and maybe some people just had a different view. Most people I found were never informed of the bill. When we actually told them that a true transgender person could go into the bathroom of their choice, I say true by someone who has changed their birth certificate or their driver's license, but that the point of our bill was to keep people from using that as a loophole, sexual predators from going in. They said, oh, I never thought about that. Look, this bill would have passed easily with leadership.
Will it be back on the next session?
Well, let me just, yeah, 1 second. You know why it's going to be back the next session? Because the people will demand it. Nearly 80% of Republicans supported the bill. Well over 60% of Democrat voters supported the bill. The issue's not going away. I said to the Speaker, we finally met. It took me 8 months to get a meeting but this week we had a meeting one-on-one on policy. We had a few breakfasts along the way. But I said to the Speaker, Mr. Speaker, pass this bill, put this issue in the rearview mirror. It's not going away. It's going to be a campaign issue in primaries and in the general election. It's not going away. He kept being worried about the business climate, he said. Well, then he should have passed the property tax bill, because that's the thing that's going to hurt our business moving forward. One more question, that's it, and then, yes, Rudy.
I heard a lot of talk from the senators about a total teardown of the education system, financially and organizationally. Can that be done in another special session, or do you need more time to wait until 19?
Rudy, right now, I'll let the governor address all those issues, but I'm proud to stand with the governor. I'm proud to stand with my senators, because we represent the will of the people. And education reform is a combination of strategically placing money where it needs to be placed. This charter reform is great. It will be some school choice. It will be online learning. It will be great efficiencies. As I said in my press conference here the week before, we've increased public education spending in this state since 2017 by 108%. 108% since 2000. But student enrollment's only going up 32%. Teacher salaries are going up 35%. We spent $60 billion last year on education, all in. local, state, federal. And teachers only got 32% of that money. We have to get the education community to come and at least be willing to concede and negotiate on some issues. You can't have it one way. We can't, they can't. But I know one thing, this Texas Senate looked out for the retired teachers and the current teachers. I'm sorry, the current teachers aren't getting a $1,000 check in the mail next September as we passed a bill to do. Call Joe Straus next year and ask him where your check is. With that, any other questions for other members?
Should the House Republican caucus pick the next speaker, do you think?
We'll let the House handle the House.
No.
Any questions on bills?
If not, good night and thanks for covering us.
Senators Werner,
Appreciate it.
Senators